Let's destroy cancer with electron beams. So they tell us about the radiation of a cancerous tumor. And very importantly, it says as the beam propagates, its field size increases. So the field size is going to continue to increase, just like the shape of a cone. We expect that as we go further and further, there's going to be a larger field. And they're defining the field as the circular plane. In physics, plane just means a flat surface. So the circular plane, which is perpendicular to the central beam axis. We have the field A0, which is at the level of the skin, and the field AD, which is at the level of the tumor, which ACER has drawn as a rectangle with rounded corners, a tumor unlike any I have seen in my life. In my diagram, I only just added the fact that the edge of the field is going to be 10%, which we will discuss in a few moments. Then we are presented with figure 2, which has the percentage depth dose, and there's nothing exciting here. Even if you didn't have these graphs, you would assume the information that's in the graphs. For example, if the electron beam has more energy, you expect that it will go deeper into the body. For example, 7 MeV here, going up to 35 MeV here. Obviously, this is going to a greater depth. Incidentally, MeV is simply a unit of energy, similar to joules, which you are very accustomed to because you're familiar with the SI system of units. But this unit of energy is the electron volt, and these are mega electron volts. And I'm sure you know your SI prefixes. Mega means 10 to the 6 or 1 million. So this is 35 million electron volts. In the notes below figure 2, ACER states that unless otherwise stated, assume the SSD and the STD and field size are the same for all beam energies. That statement is not to be misinterpreted. The field size, we can see, is based on the distance from the source. But we can also see that the field size is continually changing depending on the distance from the source. But if different energies are being used, then at the same distance, the field size will be the same according to this cone shape. And then ACER says to assume the edge of the field occurs when TDD is 10%. So that's why I put 10% here at the edge of this field. 10% would also be at the edge of this field and any other fields within the cone. Next, we turn to figures 3 and 4, which show isodose curves, meaning curves that have the identical dose, the prefix iso meaning the same, for different depths and distances from the central axis. And this is shown for 9 mega electron volts and 20 mega electron volts. So let's get to the questions. As electron beam energy increases, the maximum depth under the skin at which body tissue absorbs radiation, well, it's very clear that as energy increases, the depth increases. No question about it. We see this clearly in figure 2, but we also see this in figures 3 and 4. You can just follow the 10% line, which is at the edge of the field, and you will notice figure 3, which has less energy, the scale for the depth only goes to 5, whereas figure 4, which has more energy, the scale goes to 10. So it's clear that with increased energy, there is increased depth. Now, what about the field? We have already established that the depth is increasing. And the consequence of that is the distance between the source and the new depth is increasing. And we can see the cone widens as you go further and further, which necessarily means that the field must also increase. Now, you might have felt uncomfortable with ACER's statement below figure 2, suggesting that the field size is the same for all beam energies, but that is when these distances are the same also. But once you increase the distance, it's clear from the diagram that the field size must increase also. And so for question 8, the answer is D. Suppose that, compared to the figure shown, SSD is smaller, but STD is the same. For the 20 mega electron volt beam, which of the following is most likely? Well, we know that if we're going to reduce this distance between the source and the skin, then this AO field is going to rise in the cone. And as it rises, it creates a smaller and smaller and smaller field. So there's no question that with reduced SSD, you get a reduction in AO. Now, if the STD remains the same, the distance to the tumor, and the shape of the cone is unchanged, therefore the AD field must remain the same. And so the answer is B. And clearly, the amount of energy that's being used is a distractor. It would not have mattered if it was 7 mega electron volts or 35 mega electron volts. The answer would be the same. Suppose that, compared to the figure shown, STD is smaller, but SSD is the same. Good grief. Why did they choose these abbreviations? Ma'am, your STD is smaller, but doc, I'm only here for my cancer. This is what happens when researchers don't work with clinicians. They come up with strange abbreviations that clinicians will not be using. Nonetheless, for the 20 mega electron volt beam, which of the following is most likely? Okay, so we have a reduction in the distance from the source of the electron beam to the tumor. So intuitively, even if there were no graphs, you know that that's going to be a stronger dose. But nonetheless, we have so many graphs to show this to be true. As the depth is reduced, irrespective of the 20 mega electron volts energy beam, the percentage increases significantly. So there is no question that there will be an increased dose. When we look at the answer choices, it's B versus D. Now, D says the isodose curve will spread out. Presumably, they mean it widens. However, that is definitely not happening. When the dose increases, we see quite the opposite in figures 3 and 4. So answer choice D is definitely wrong. So there is only answer choice B. And for ACER to say the isodose curve will be the same must mean, given the depth, the percentages will still follow the graphs provided. I would have preferred a little better wording, but there's clearly no other answer choice. These questions were relatively straightforward. There were no twists, no double negatives, and so ACER was relying on students getting overly anxious when presented with multiple graphs and figures. But that won't be you during the real exam. If you happen to have the book, you can go to Gold Standard GAMSAT Master Series Maths and Physics, Chapter 3, which focuses on algebra and graph analysis, as well as the chapter review questions throughout the books. Keep up the good work. Good luck with your studies.